Hello, I'm Heather.
And I'm Ryan.
Welcome to the podcast. It's game night, it's sibling rivalry, it's a walk down memory lane, but most importantly, it's politics free.
Guaranteed.
Welcome to round 4 of Your Worst Nightmare. Here's how it works. We have a set of cards. On each one is written a nightmare, which is a debatable statement now that I think about it. Anyway, we'll pick 4 cards, and Ryan will have to place them in the correct order according to what he thinks my worst nightmare is. Then we'll flip it around, and it'll be my turn. Whoever scores the most points wins the ever-coveted Gloating Rights trophy.
Until we play again.
Wow, with gusto. You've made up for all the times you fucked that up. Congrats. All right. Running score. Ryan, 15. Heather, 12. I'm catching up.
And I'm not feeling confident about this one this week.
Me neither. Let's begin.
All right.
Ryan.
Yes.
Your first set of cards. Bumps in the night. Bees. Scammed by a Nigerian prince. Pollution.
Okay. So, going from least worst to worst. Scammed by a Nigerian prince, because I feel like you're too smart to be scammed by a Nigerian prince.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Bees.
Okay.
A bumps in the night.
Alrighty.
And a pollution.
You got the scammed by a Nigerian prince one. You nailed that.
Damn it.
Then I'm pollution, bees, bumps in the night.
I knew pollution was going to be low on the list for you, but, you know, bees.
Here's the thing.
Okay, oh my God.
Bees aren't that scary to me. We've talked about this
No,
before.
they're
You
not.
should have
so
known.
Why wouldn't it not be 2 on your list?
Because I was having a really hard time between bees and pollution. I probably should have put pollution higher since it kills bees, but whatever. Bumps in the night, like if you're ever sleeping, anybody's had this happen to them. You're sleeping and then suddenly just something just falls and it makes a loud thwack.
Mm-hmm.
That's so terrifying to me.
Right.
I go into stark, completely numb terror
Right.
anytime that happens. And it takes me like a few minutes to loosen up and come out of fright.
Uh-huh.
It's creepy.
That's fair. I was not confident I had any of those right. I'm glad I at least got one. Now here's your chance to fuck this up completely. So, let me
I'm
go
ready.
over to your cards. Your cards.
I'm ready for it.
Your
I'm
cards
ready
are
to screw this up.
abandonment, chatty plain neighbors, germs, and depths.
All right. I put chatty plain neighbors last on the list. I put that in the number 4 spot
Okay.
because you're a chatty guy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, we're similar in this way. We will willingly get into a conversation with a total stranger. We don't care.
Sure.
Unless you're like you have a headache or like you're in a foul mood or something.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that didn't seem so bad. Then I went number 3, depths, because all I could think of was a big ocean void and drowning in it. So really I put what my answer would have been there. I don't know.
Wait, so chatty plain neighbors is the least, and then depths is the next least.
Yeah, I did not
Okay.
think the depths thing through before I just stuck it in 3rd place, but since I
gotcha.
already said it, I'm going to commit to it because now it seems like that might be scarier than germs and abandonment put together, the way I described depths just now. But
Okay.
anyway, I put germs in the number 2 spot and abandonment in the number 1 spot.
Okay, so first of all, Heather, I would like to point out to you
Mm-hmm.
that we had this discussion about abandonment in the episode with Cora,
Oh, yes.
and I had that in last place then, and it is still in last place now.
I did not remember. I did not remember that we did that.
You got one right, which was germs.
Yay, I'll take it.
I went abandonment, chatty plain neighbors, germs, and depths. Because depths in a deep ocean or even a big lake is terrifying.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I should have put depths higher up. I don't know why I didn't. All right, you ready for this? You ready to crumble and die?
Yes,
in the
I'm
next
ready.
Set of cards. You've got cubicles, closed shower curtains, songs stuck in your head, falling through a hole in a frozen lake.
Okay, so this one was rough because I don't know. I assumed that closed shower curtains would be the least of your worries.
Mm-hmm.
Songs stuck in your head would seem like a slight annoyance at some point, but since you like to sing, I figured that would be at least number 2 of the lowest. Cubicles.
So,
and then,
in other words, you're putting that in the third. So it's closed
third
shower
place.
curtains, 4th, songs stuck in your head, 3rd, cubicles.
And then, no. So, number 4, closed shower curtains. 3, songs stuck in your head. 2, cubicles. And number 1, falling through a hole in a frozen lake.
I fucking hate you.
Did I nail it?
You nailed it.
Oh!
You nailed it.
Oh! Yes!
I had to pick those almost at random, the order I put them in, because cubicles, closed shower curtains, songs stuck in your head, I was like, none of those things particularly bother me at all. So, I don't know.
Not even falling through a hole in a frozen lake?
No, that's terrifying. I would hate that. That was the easy one. That one I figured would be the least that you got right on that list. But I can understand why people would be scared of closed shower curtains because you never know what could be behind it.
Well, if you're alone in your home or with other people, there should be no...
Right, like there's no logical reason for me to think there is something or someone behind the shower curtain. Although my cat did scare the crap out of me one time because she went in the shower and then started doing whatever it is the cats do. And I didn't know she was in there when I came in to go to the bathroom. And then all of a sudden the curtains just, I was like, what the hell? But it was the cat. So that's the closest I've ever come to that.
You know, my cats have death wishes. Because they constantly place themselves right in front of me when I'm walking or backing up.
Oh, my God.
And yesterday, I stepped on both cats. And it was within a short period of each other. And I felt terrible.
This is my impression of a cat. Oh, thank you so much for feeding me. Oh, this food is delicious. I gotta go. Someone's going somewhere. I gotta go get in the way. It's ridiculous. I've actually learned to wait a beat before I start walking down the stairs. Because she will go straight in front of me and stop on the first stair right in front of me.
That's super annoying.
When we first brought her home, I nearly got killed like several times until I thought, you know what? Wait for the cat. Then she'll decide to continue moving down and then I can go.
I wonder if cats are just so miserable with their lives that they intentionally try to put themselves in harm's way just in hopes that they will die.
Don't know. I think it might be more that they're covertly trying to kill us.
Yes.
Because they're not big enough to eat us. They're like, we've got to find a way, though. Because apparently, I read this article about a study, and I guess some scientists who knows if this is a valid study or not, but had figured out that basically our cats they want to eat us.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently.
I don't doubt that at all. There was this picture online of a dog sitting outside of a shower, and the person had taken a picture from inside the shower and was like, "Oh, he's guarding me while I take a shower." And I was like, yeah, my cats do that too, but they're waiting for me to slip and fall and die so they can eat me.
You know what? Another article I read a lot of articles.
Mm-hmm.
Another article I read, someone else did a study. I think this might have been in the field of forensics because when people die in their home and then forensics gets called in, which I guess they just kind of standardly do no matter what the circumstances seem to be anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They'll sometimes, not always, but sometimes dogs will start to eat their owner or cats will start to eat their owner. They actually found out it's much more common for dogs to do that than for cats to do it.
Really?
Which, is that surprising? That surprised me to find that out.
That does surprise me, yes. I feel like dogs would be more reluctant, but I mean, dogs are bigger animals, so they probably have a higher metabolism, and so they probably get hungrier faster than cats, maybe? would be my logic.
That could be. I mean, my cat does not eat much, I'll say that.
Yeah.
But some cats do eat a lot, so I don't know.
Yes, I have a fat cat. She likes to eat a lot.
Oh, you do?
Yes, she is a fat cat.
Fat cats are kind of adorable, though. Like all tubby and cute. All right. Hit me with these cards.
Okay, Heath. All right. The next set of cards. Drinking out of other people's glasses. Friday the 13th. Bungee cord breaking and dentures.
All right. Number 4, I put Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, dentures.
Okay.
Number 2, drinking out of other people's glasses, which I based on your response about not liking to wear other people's clothes, like we talked about in a recent episode.
Right.
And number 1, bungee cord breaking.
So I struggled with this one, Heather, but you got Friday the 13th right.
I'm sorry. Your bungee cord breaking is not your number 1 fear of these 4 things? Are you kidding me right now?
It's number 2. Listen, I would rather my bungee cord break and I fall to my death than have to wear dentures for the rest of my life.
It doesn't say you have to wear the dentures. You could just be afraid of them sitting there.
Well, I was
looking
thinking
creepy.
Of terms in me wearing dentures. I have a thing about not having fucking teeth.
I do not believe you. I feel like you're cheating. I feel like that's a big fat cheaty cheat.
No.
How could you're every single time?
You want to see my thing?
Look. Listen.
Look.
To you. No, I understand that that's what you wrote. I don't distrust that, but I refuse to believe that you would rather have your bungee cord break than have to wear dentures.
Yes. Absolutely. I don't want to be all fucking gummy for the rest of my life.
One for Heather because Ryan and dentures. What the hell?
Listen.
You have to laugh out loud when you laugh. Otherwise, it's just silence in the podcast.
I can't laugh out loud right now, Heather. Jesus Christ. Listen, Heather.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking of in terms of what I would have to put in my mouth. And listen, I'm not super worried about bungee cords breaking because it is very statistically improbable that it's going to even happen. But the thought of it happening puts it higher than drinking out of other people's glasses. I would rather drink out of someone else's glass than have a bungee cord break on me. I put bungee cord breaking because at the third, because it's statistically improbable that it's going to happen. But if it did happen, I'd rather that happen than have to wear dentures for the rest of my life. I don't want no fucking dentures in my mouth.
Okay, well, I'm ready to move on while I simmer down from this.
Unless they could implant the dentures into my face, and I never have to worry about removing them. And then I would swap those
sure
two.
There's technology. You could just get a bunch of implants.
Okay, Heather, would it make you feel better if I swapped those two? So you could get 2 out of this one?
It wouldn't. I would feel like it was just pity scores. I just needed to give you... you're my brother. I'm going to give you a hard time about stupid things. Like having a bigger fear of dentures than certain death. Okay, let's move on.
You know, death doesn't bother me, though. Because we're all going to die eventually. But there's no guarantee that I'm going to have to wear dentures.
The number of times in the last 14 games that we have played on this podcast that you have been like, but Heather, that's death. It's death if that happens. Death. Suddenly, death doesn't matter anymore.
Okay, fine.
It's been a misleading series of rounds.
You know what, Heather, you have a very valid point. Okay, I feel bad. And by my own logic, you are correct. I should have put that in the number 1 spot. I'm going to change it to the number 1 spot because you have bested me in my own logic. Okay?
All right, fine. So that means I got Friday the 13th and bungee cord breaking. I get another point.
Yes. And it's not a pity point because you're absolutely correct. It means certain death if it falls. And with technology these days, I could probably just have the dentures implanted in my face.
All right, there you go. So that makes the total running score 20 for you and 15 for me.
Oh, Heather, by the way, so remember how you said that you were going to go back and see who won your worst nightmare?
Stuff happens. Yes.
Well, I went back because I remembered the other day and I went and listened to the episode. So I just want to point out that I did, in fact, win Stuff Happens. Yes,
Yeah,
I won that whole thing.
I kept my word.
Yes, I know. But
I kept my word and I didn't bring it up.
Yes, I know.
Because I didn't win.
Yes, but I'm bringing it up because you didn't bring it up. And I just wanted to throw that out there. I want to add that into my gloating rights for today. Because not only am I winning right now, but I also won the last game. How many rounds of this are we doing?
I have all the editing power. You forget this constantly. It's ridiculous. We'll do 10 rounds of this game like we did 10 rounds of the last one. So
okay.
I could still very well win this, although it really doesn't look very good for me. Let's keep going. All right. Now, I'm bringing it back. Research inspired by this week's game. And we're going to talk all about scams.
Ooh, there are so many scams out there.
Yeah, I found a website, which I will go to now, from Ken Paxton, Attorney General of Texas. Common scams. This is from texasattorneygeneral.gov. And this is, of course, inspired by the Nigerian Prince card that we got, which I feel like, is there anybody left that falls for that? It's the most ridiculous, especially when you get like 15 of them per day.
Old people.
Old people.
You know what scam really, I don't understand the purpose of is...
What's that?
The Facebook accounts where they make a fake profile of a celebrity and then they do we're giving away $10,000 to the first 100 people that comment on this post. And then everybody's commenting on that post. They don't obviously they're not getting sent that money, but I don't understand.
I wonder if that's more of a spam thing. They're trying to then go to those people's pages and friend them or get them on some sort of mailing list or something like that. That's the only thing I can think of because I don't know what else the scammer would get out of that particular.
I report all those pages.
Well, you should because they're ridiculous. You know what? I should start reporting, although I don't really go in the Facebook feed that often, but those ones that are name a food that immediately gives away exactly where you're from or something. And I'm like, why do people answer these? This is obviously somebody fishing for this personal information. And there's so many of them. They're so constant. Yeah. Don't fall for it. They're just trying to spam you. It's spam. All right. But there are 5 signs of a scam. Mm-hmm. Says the Texas Attorney General, if you spot any of these tactics, stop and walk away. You're probably being scammed. 1, they contacted you. So if somebody calls you saying they're a business, that might be a scam. Because usually businesses, when you need them, you'll call them, right?
Sure. Okay.
And remember, email, addresses, and caller ID information can be faked.
Yes.
And you just don't know that they actually are who they say they are. So they dangle bait, usually money. Right? That one's pretty easy.
Right.
Here's a big prize, a shopping spree. And then you answer and they somehow get your data, I think is how that probably works.
Right.
They want your personal information. Seriously, if they ask for a bank account, Social Security, this is all just common sense that people our age already know.
Right.
Do not give anybody that. And by the way, if somebody says they're from the IRS and they're asking for your Social Security, they're definitely not from the IRS and don't give them your Social Security number.
Right.
On the phone. You have to pay them first. They offer you a prize, but you've got to give them something first, money or something, a fee.
Yeah.
You have to wire money or send gift cards. Don't do that. That's the Nigerian Prince right there.
Yeah.
Also, they advise don't scam the scammer. Trying to scam your scammer to get, quote, revenge is a terrible idea. Don't do it. You won't fool them, and you may end up getting scammed after all.
I watch a couple of YouTubers that their mission is to screw with scammers. That's all they do. They just waste their time. They're hilarious.
Whenever I get these people that are like, oh, I'm in trouble and I need help and can you give me money? I just want to be like, I absolutely can give you money. why don't you meet me at 3:00 on the corner of Broadway and South and like give them an actual address of somewhere, and I will be there with $5,000 for you. And then I just don't show up.
Perfect.
And they get no money. Apparently that's a bad idea. So don't do that. All right. They just have this list of common scams that I thought I'd mention. Advanced fee scams, tech support scams, phishing, emergency scams, IRS or government imposter scams, which I mentioned briefly, foreign money exchange scams, counterfeit cashier's checks, bogus debts. I've gotten bogus invoices. Here's your invoice for the purchase that you made. And I was like, I didn't make that purchase. I look at my bank account. That amount of money has not been removed from my bank account. I check with my husband. Did you buy this? These days, I've got to check with my daughter. Did you purchase a $150 thing in an app of yours, honey? Because she's done that to us numerous times. At this point, she's doing it on purpose. And we actually had to password stuff and revoke her password knowledge from her because she would not stop just buying $200. I don't even know, for a game app. Stop it.
And I think those in-game purchases, all that stuff should be thrown right in there with the scams.
They're basically scams. When she showed me what she spent the $150 on, I was like, yeah, that was not worth it at all, honey. But I would have had to watch 15 commercials. That would have been better if you had done that. Could you please do that next time? Anyway, the point is, I check with everybody, and I check my bank account. And another thing is the invoice comes as an attachment to the email. And I'm like, that's not how companies send me invoices over email. It's usually just in the email, like a receipt for having bought something. So I figure what this is you're going to call them and be like, what? I never ordered this from you. Oh, just give me your account, your card number, and we'll put it back on your card for you. Like, that's probably where that's going.
Yeah.
So I ignore those when I figured out that they actually didn't charge me for anything. And then the other one that I keep getting in my Outlook folder, which is so convincingly looks like it is from Microsoft. I constantly get these. Well, I've put it to phishing so many times now, I've actually stopped getting it. But it's like, hey, if you don't respond to this email, we will delete your account in the next 24 hours. We're going to be deleting all the accounts. So my advice on this one is if they say something that makes literally no sense and seems super illogical, it's probably not really from Microsoft.
Right.
So I looked at the from email, and I actually just went and checked and found like a Microsoft tech service and found out that's not an email they ever send anything from.
Right.
But it looked super official, and it was very super official sounding. So like that's another one. Home repair scams, business opportunities or employment scams. That's just pyramid scam stuff right there. Get more and more people to join and move up the tiers. Shopping sprees. So there you have it. In case you're old and listening to this, you might have learned something. I just realized probably our audience already knows all this.
Probably.
But it was a refresher.
Yes.
Consider yourself refreshed.
I am refreshed. Thank you.
Well, since I still don't have any listener stories, hey, send us your listener stories, thepoliticsfreepodcast.com. Scroll down, you can email us, or it links to our voicemail service. Have you thought of an interesting story of your own inspired by the game we played? We want to hear it. Until we start hearing those stories, it's back to Reddit we go. Scam stories. I thought it was appropriate, keeping the theme. This is from Lobster Andy, or Lobster and I was at this bizarre fair type of thing, and I fell for going into the tent, which housed the 180-pound man-eating chicken.
Whoa.
I knew it was going to be cheesy and a likely waste of $2, but I had to go see it anyway. It was a regular man who picked up a plate of fried chicken and started eating it when paying customers came in. I wasn't even mad. At least it was only $2.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of amazing, to be honest.
All right. The username in this case was deleted. Just because a piece of memorabilia says it comes with a certificate of authenticity doesn't mean it's actually authentic. I work in the auction business, and I can't begin to tell you how many people contact me on a daily basis looking to sell items they bought on eBay at estate sales, or even from dealers with certificates of authenticity from some no-name authenticator. only to find out that their items are in fact forgeries. It's the worst part of my job, and it's a hard lesson that every collector learns at some point. Do your homework and research a historical item before you buy it. Collectibles should not be impulse buys.
Mm-hmm.
That's just good advice I thought I'd share.
Yeah.
From Mr. Bond PT. Magic tricks in Paris, just outside of Moulin Rouge. Me and my brother, a group of people, were gathered around 15 and betting on which coin had the white symbol. I guess they're all around 15 years old is what he meant by that.
Right.
3 coins available. Before betting, everything was easy. There were people earning small amounts of money, and I was guessing all outcomes correctly. A dude next to me asked me if I wanted to bet with him to reduce the risk. I said no, but decided to bet alone. $100 bet. I lost. I was 16 years old at the time. All right. Oh, a group of people. There were around 15 people in this gathering he was in.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. So he figures he can do it. He loses. That was all of his vacation money spent in 10 seconds. Only later I realized all 15 of them were part of the scam.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there you go. And I think that's a pretty common, like, the reason you go and participate in that is here's a guy hustling and you just want to give him some money. That's why you go bet on those things, because you're going to lose.
Yes.
You know, so why not give him dinner? At least he's doing something. He's not directly pickpocketing it out of your pocket.
Right.
All right. Well, Ryan, we have one more thing left to do.
Oh.
It's the question of the week.
Oh.
Do you have a bucket list?
I mean, I don't have like a bucket list, but there's like certain things that will pop up into my head that I'm like, oh, I would like to do that before I die. So, for example, I would at least like to go bungee jumping and skydiving before I die. Those are 2 things, I suppose, are on my bucket list.
Wow. 2 things that could kill you if they go wrong. Excellent.
I should do them both at the same time, just in case.
Do them both on the same day. Get it over with. No, I was going to say, I don't have like a written bucket list, but I swear there are things that like you said, they pop into mind and I go, oh, I'd like to do that someday. But there's two only that constantly recur that I always think about. And then the other ones I forget about after a while.
Right.
And it's, I want to go on a hot air balloon ride. And I want to see the Aurora Borealis.
Oh, yeah. I really want to see that. I freaking hate how you always get these notifications that, oh, you're going to be able to see the Aurora Borealis in your area. And it's cloudy every time.
Oh. Can I tell you, at the time that we're recording this, yesterday was this big blood moon. I was seeing it in my newsfeed for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I figured out it was going to be between like 11:30 and 12:30 Eastern time. Good. I'm going to stay up and I'm going to see this blood moon. It's going to be awesome. And it wasn't even cloudy, nothing. And I passed out at 10:30. I did not make it. My night owl days are over.
Ridiculous.
That question was from randomwordgenerator.com, as always. Link in the show notes if you're interested in that. Hey, if you've been enjoying the podcast, share the podcast. Do this. Tell one person this week. Tell one person. We would love it if you would. That would be awesome. And if you enjoyed listening to this game and you think you might want to incorporate it into your game night, it is called Your Worst Nightmare, of course, and it is by Pressman. And there's a link in the show notes for you to go to pressmantoy.com, right to the product page if you're interested in that. And last but not least,
until we play again. Oh.
We leave you with free advice.
Oh, sure.
Don't just assume you know what someone's going to say and just blurt out until we play again at the end of the podcast. That's terrible advice. Let's give you better advice than that. I just shamed Ryan badly.
I hung my head in shame.
Oh. Okay, advice. Scammer's gonna scam. But that doesn't mean you need to fall for it. See, I kept it on theme.
Good job. Well done.
I know.
I'm proud of you, Heather. Good job. Solid advice.
Thank you. Until
we play again.
Love it.